Hey Ian, you ready?
You bet I am. What are we talking about tonight? And talk about guns?
If it's not a 30 cal, I'm not in.
Jeez, mate, that's not very inclusive. Have you seen Jono?
Hey Jono, you ready?
Well, God knows where he is, mate. He's probably caught up in the neighbour's wire again. You ready to go? Let's do this.
Mate, I'm ready. Let's crank it up.
Righto then. Welcome back, listeners, to another episode of the Hunter's Campfire, where we're going to talk about all things hunting and the great outdoors. And we'll probably throw in a few tips along the way.
You want a tip? Say it once, say it 1,000 times. Goats love rocks.
Or a few things about deer. Mark, what do you reckon about deer?
As a deer hunter, I love hunting pigs.
Well, that's about as useful as I expected it to be. Oh, check it out. Here comes Jono. He's being chased by the neighbour's dog.
Okay guys, let's get this started. Welcome to the Hunter's Campfire. Pull up a chair, get comfortable. It's time for the Hunter's Campfire.
Welcome back, Jono.
Look who it is.
Thank you, Ian. Look, I'm back.
You're back.
I'm back.
Who's that?
Didn't
Have
even
you
go on
guys been?
holiday, did you? You just decided to look after your family
for
and
me.
yeah.
Went to a
I-
14-day day spa to,
Yeah. Look at the complexion. You notice less wrinkles. Have you noticed?
forget that. What are that? Anal bleaching.
Oh, dude. Don't go there. Can we start again?
You can, but I can't help the truth, mate.
Oh dear. Okay.
It's only because I bumped into you there, Mark. That's all.
Oh,
That's
there
right.
it is.
Well, mate.
What was
hey,
that?
look.
Dr. Mark.
Dr.
Your
Mark?
therapist.
Man, I could do that. Dr. Mark.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, sure, why not? Yeah, I could deal with that.
Yeah, it's got a good ring to
We've
it.
taken the podcast to new, deep, dark places.
Well, yeah, but we were bleaching those deep dark places. We were exposing them to the light.
Oh,
It's like, four corners.
Okay, cool. How have you been,
Cool.
Jono? You've had a bit of a break and well, not so much a holiday, but some time out.
No holiday for me, mate. So yeah, I had just some family stuff that I had to take care of. But yeah, I'm back now. So yeah, I got some gifts, which was good. All the way
Just
from
in time
Africa.
to prepare for a trip to the Northern Territory. What timing you have? Oh, it's
a pair of.
It's a shoe.
It's a buffalo leather shoe to go buffalo hunting. Different type of buffalo. This is Cape buffalo,
Mm.
but we are going to the Northern Territory to hunt Asiatic water buffalo.
Right.
So-
Asiatic Water
It's a
Buffalo.
glorious looking shoe that looks like it was made in the 20s. For those that can't see it because they're listening to us, what the?
Just think of Kmart desert boots. When you were a
Kmart
kid,
Desert Boot.
with the ripple sole.
All right.
They're
Tell
just
us
leather
about
versions
the
of
actual shoe. Do it.
So these are Jim Green Ranger boots. These are made from buffalo leather. They are a very famous boot in Africa. They're up there with the Courtneys, I think you said, Mark.
Mm-hmm.
They were designed by the African Rangers, built for Africa for lots of walking. So really flat sole, more flat ground, which I think will make them pretty good for the sort of shooting that we're going to be doing, the hunting that we're going to be doing up in the territory, because it's pretty flat. There's a couple of hills, but not much. I know you guys climbed. I think Mark, you climbed one of the escarpments, didn't you?
Yeah, we both went
Yes,
up the
I
side
did.
of that.
Oh, did you both go up?
Yeah,
What was
that's
that?
good.
You both
Yeah,
went
yeah.
up that hill, didn't you?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I spent a bit of time up in the rocks there. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think they'll be great for that, but I think for that flatter country they'll be good. So I need to break them in before that trip.
And
hopefully they're not too warm.
They look like a
but
boot that would require breaking in. They just look like a
yes.
leather boot. No
Yeah.
fancy cushioning, no
No.
running shoe technology, certainly not a grease sport or a lower
No.
boot. They are a
Correct. They're going to need some breaking in. So between now and the territory, I'm going to have to wear those every day, trying to get them. Apparently, they really mold to the foot. They take on your individual foot. And apparently, they look very different once they're broken in. They're not this rough shape. I'll show you again so you can see. They're
Can I give you a little piece of advice on breaking in boots?
sure.
So when I joined the army a lifetime ago, we got some pretty average boots back in the day. They were called GP boots, and they were just a leather boot, mass manufactured somewhere, so probably not quite as good as the ones that you're looking at. But what we did with our boots to shape them to our feet was fill them up with boiling water. Boiling water makes them soft. And as soon as you can manage to put your foot in that boot, get your foot in that boot, and don't take them off again until they're dry, which basically took the day.
Yeah, okay.
And that molds the boot to your foot pretty well. Give it a try. I can't believe you're thinking about wearing them to the territory. I know they're a buff boot for buff hunting, but
I'll be taking them, and I'll certainly wear them. But
they'll be like a mascot. I'll hang them in the tree at camp.
Bring the buffaloes. The buffaloes caller.
Right. They're buffalo attracting boots.
Oh dear. Well, we're going to talk more about the territory, but since we're talking about boots, Mark, you're not going to repeat last year's boot selection. You've
No,
gotten over the pain. The scars probably still remain.
You've got a blister, guys.
Come on, more than a blister.
That was
It
more
a
than a
hole
blister,
in your
mate.
foot.
It was a hole.
Maybe a few delicate cells, but I've had worse than that before.
Well, you've had
That's
a
what
tough
happens.
life.
That's what happened.
That was nasty.
That was a pretty bad.
No,
blister.
it's fine.
It's about the size of a 50-cent piece, and about as deep, as a bottle cap.
What it was, I can tell you what happened was, I didn't realise how. I found out how much condensation got in the morning.
Yeah,
because my socks didn't dry out. So of course they were sweaty and yucky the day before when I took them off. But when I thought, I'll dry them out, they'll be fine in the morning, and they didn't dry. And then we went up in that escarpment country, and I was zigzagging on all those rocks, and it started to wear through. And I just said, well, I'm in a hunt, so I just kept hunting.
Clean pair of socks, clean pair of jocks every morning.
Every day.
Yeah. That's it. So it's because I tried to recycle a pair of socks and it didn't work. And that's it. I'm wearing my lower Zephyrs this time. But I mean, if I was, again, probably it doesn't matter what kind of boot I was wearing at the time. I mean, unless I was like wearing Roman sandals or something like that. I wasn't. But I just think that's I know what happened. I can remember it getting all squishy in there and going, oh well, it's starting to happen. And I thought, I'm here to shoot a buffalo, not to cry and camp about my foot. So I just kept going. That's it.
And then drown out the pain with some rums back at the
hotel.
And
just kept going, and then we were done. And then we got to the hotel where everything was, and I said, I don't need to walk anymore. Take it off, and there you go.
Yeah.
So if that happens again, that's exactly how I'll play it again. I'll just gaffer tape it up, and away we go. Oh, we're driving back, so I won't even need to worry about that. So.
Gaffer tape is supposed to be a really good thing for hot spots.
I've never used gaffer tape on my skin. I'm not sure if it would be the best choice. I think I'd stick with some kind of proper athletic tape, which I have.
So if you listen to Remy Warren,
but he used to shoot a bow with his mouth, so that guy's a little tougher than I am.
And I bet you he changes his socks.
I bet he does with his teeth. What I mean, he hurt his arm, so he said, I'm going to teach myself how to shoot a bow with my mouth. Come on. Jesus. That's it. So, yeah. So, yes, I've had worse blisters than that. I've had times when I haven't had blisters. Those Zamberlans are fantastic boots. I still own them. I just want a pair of lighter boots this time because I'm getting old. So now I'm starting thinking about, weight and stuff like that. I never used to worry about that, but it's become a thing now. I'm thinking, oh, this thing's a bit heavy, or I never used to think about stuff like that. And you're talking about boots, GPs. I tell you, the best way is not to get blisters with GPs is earn enough money so you can buy better boots. That's the best way to get around it.
Yeah,
that's
well,
where I started.
16-and-a-half-year-old school leaver.
That's where I started.
He's going to get on the bus and go to Waiouru and do basic training. You get what
I started with second-hand GPs because we used to buy them from Army Disposals.
Yeah.
And or those remember those jungle boots?
No, we didn't have jungle.
They used to have these things.
You didn't have a Valhalla that you could just go to and pick a pair of boots off the
but I was broke. I was a poor country boy.
That's right.
$20 boots out of the bargain bin, and you had to hope you got the same boot, like a pair.
Yeah, that's right. You hope that when they tied them together, they tied the two boots together that came.
That's right.
And but no, there wasn't Valhalla and stuff like that either. That was good hiking gear was pretty rare, and it was ridiculously expensive. So Army Disposals, and they used to have these things called jungle boots, which were basically this really super hard rubber sole, and with the rubber, lift up, and they were canvas, and they were all, ex-Vietnam stuff.
Actually,
because that's what it was. It was all ex-Vietnam.
Yeah, talking about Army Disposal, the first ever jacket I bought for hunting was from the Army Disposal store, and that would have been in 1998 that I bought my first hunting jacket. And when my wife was back in South Africa now, the same Army Disposal store is still in the same spot, same location, still sitting there, still open from 1998 where I bought my first jacket from. So, yeah.
There used to be a gun shop in Brisbane City, and it was something trading. It wasn't didn't have a name gun, and it used to be down towards the river, and they used to sell 303s in a big,
the
wine cask barrel. At the front door. At the front door, there was this big, wine cask, timber barrel, and they used to just be stuck muzzle down, and they were like $60, and you used to go in there and kind of go, "Oh, this one looks reasonably okay."
This one's got a straight barrel.
That was it, that's 303s. They just still had bundles of them.
Amazing, eh?
And now, that
Sporterized 303 is a beautiful rifle, though. A Sporterized 303 where they take them and cut the stock back.
Oh, Sporterize them well, and make them in.
They trim the barrel down.
25 303s and all that stuff,
beautiful.
So, yes, that's where I started. So, as soon as I could buy better boots, I started buying better boots.
So, what's happened in the week, Mark? Anything joyous?
Well, I'm in PTA land. I'm in the PTA, air traffic control. It's hovering up there and somewhere in the ether, waiting for it to land, so I can get my.
Chapui.
Do you reckon it's chapui or chapui?
Chapui. It'd have to be we.
Chapui.
I don't know if it's chap or chap. Chap. I don't know.
Chappy.
Chapui. Double rifle. Yeah. I'm waiting for that to land.
Chappus, fellas.
Chappus.
She's
Chappus.
Yeah, Chappus.
She's from France, and it's a Chappus.
Right, so you're getting a Chappus. What's the Chappus? Actually, we'll get into the guns in a minute, but you're in
Okay,
PPA,
well, that's
mate.
what I'm excited about. Okay, so I bought some Lego.
Oh, joy. Okay, righto. So we're getting guns.
That's what I was going to talk about. So let's talk about guns as part of the territory. So that's exciting stuff.
I've only got one piece of fun news. I took Hendo. Hendo got his new 692. 692? Yeah, 692.
Or 694. 692.
No, he got a 692.
2.
I think. Black edition. It's his competition gun, so he's been borrowing a gun and trying to get back into shooting, and it's been a lot of fun. But he finally got his own gun. Beretta Australia sorted him out with that, which was great. And we shot comp on Sunday. Mm-hmm. And it was so much fun having someone to sledge. Eh?
Did he beat you?
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. But it was fun. I didn't shoot too well at the beginning, the first competition, because it's made up of multiple comps. So he was in front of me for that. And we were pretty much, I think I clawed back one shot on him for the second comp. So we went into the last competition, last 50 shots of the day. He was 2 up. And in the end, I think... I was 3 or 4 up by the end of it, which was good. But he's held his own. It's good. He's come back in C grade. He's graded up into B grade already. So we're both into that. I'm a % off A grade, So that'll probably happen this coming weekend. But it was good to have Hendo in the squad because it went from a very serious competition, lots of focus, to just sledging the hell out of each other, which was fun. So,
as someone who is a recreational shotgun shooter, clay shooter, I've been told that I'm a reasonable shot. We had a bit of a comp going. I wasn't far off. How would I go about getting graded? That's a question I've always wondered.
Yeah, okay.
You got to get an app.
You've got to get the app. So you will probably be a casual member of your club.
Yes,
and you can
correct.
upgrade your membership to be a competition member.
But don't I have to join like the Clay Association of Australia?
You will already have joined some of that as part of your club membership. Anyway, regardless of, I don't know where you are in your membership, but there's a small uplift under $100 to go from a casual shooting member at a club to a competition member. At that point in time, you go out and shoot comp, right? And there's an algorithm, and the algorithm we talked about on the podcast while you were away, but the basics of it are they measure you off your first 50 shoots, and a shoot is classified as a 25 target competition. So if you go away for a weekend comp, or even if it's just a Sunday afternoon or a Sunday competition, it might be made up of 5 25 target shoots. Even if it's a 50 target double barrel, that's broken down into 2 25 lots. All right. So that goes into the app, and the app takes your scores and it drops the bottom half off and counts the top half. And basically, whatever that top half is will become your baseline. So let's say you're shooting 23 out of 25 as your standard shooting, or 22 out of 25 as your standard shooting. That becomes your baseline. Okay. And then they count everything that is your baseline number up in terms for your grading. Grading is scored by your your most recent 20 shoots of 25, the top 10 of. Right, so they discard any of your clusterfucks out the door, they're gone, and they keep your really good ones. And over a very short period of time, they will grade you, and you'll probably go into C grade. And then as you shoot your first 20 competitions, you will have established what your normal, consistency looks like, and you'll end up in C or B grade-ish, somewhere around there. And then as you shoot more and more and more, and you get better and better and better, your baseline, the 50 that I talked about before, will increase from 22 to 23, and they'll no longer look at the 22s. They might then increase to 24s. They'll no longer look at the 23 scores, and you'll end up in a grade which is A grade, and then eventually AA grade. AA grade, you've got to shoot 99.5% of your target, right? But remember, that sounds ridiculously hard, but if you consistently, like I go out now on a competition day, I shot a 22 out of 25, 2 25s out of 25, 2 24s out of 25, right? Which is reasonably good shooting. And they got rid of the 22 and they counted the 24s and 25s. So eventually I'll get to a point where I'm consistently shooting more 25s, and they'll just keep dropping the 24s out. And you just keep graded that way. But it's all done in an algorithm and an app. There's no human intervention whatsoever. Every single shoot in real time can upgrade you. So Hendo the other day, halfway through the day, got graded up to B.
Oh,
and that's his new baseline. And he stays in C grade for the day, but his next competition he'll shoot as a B grader, which is really good. So you just got to take the step and get into it. It'll be fun. I look forward to sledging you too.
I'm looking at the YouTube and Beretta Australia showroom have video about the 692 range, and they also have a video about the Black Edition range. So,
the Black Editions are nice. They're beautiful.
Yeah, so it's got a trap gun. 692 Black Edition trap gun. So it's fixed chokes. It's purely built for this. And he's enjoying it. He's consistent with it. So I imagine he's going to be a hell of a challenge in the next few weeks. But that's good. That's what you need, someone to push you along.
And by the way, your smoke alarm is beeping again.
Oh, no. You can edit that out. I haven't changed.
Maybe I'm used to it now. I
Just shoot out of it.
And sorry, let me just finish that off with Hendo in his first competition with his new gun got a second place, which is pretty damn good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. Well, if we're talking about cool stuff, I do have something to talk about.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
The sour.
So I tried the sour 505, and this is so a couple of things really interesting. That is just when I got it to group at 100. When I review a rifle, I'm not all I want to do is group because I've got to talk about consistency. Okay, so that's a group at 100. Factory ammo, Sierra factory ammo. The Sauer 505 runs this super integrated scope system that only works with Blaser scopes at the moment. So, and where you can take it off and put it on without any tools. Literally, kind of like a push by quick release. It's that quick. It's that easy. And that's after I took the scope off and put it back on at the range.
Shooting better.
Well, it was weird, isn't it? But that often happens because you just get, you get a bit more practice with the rifle. Because I mean, I literally only had a dozen shots by that time. But yeah, so that was really impressive for a return to zero. That was super impressive.
Like the aim points when you take them off and put them back on, they just
well, aim points are really they're actually. There's nothing I've sighted in quicker than an aim point. I generally can sight in a rifle, again, with that one. There's this weird number. I seem to hit 11, and that's when it sighted in. With aim point, I think it was 3. It's just...
Did you use the aim point zero target?
No, I didn't even use... I just used a normal target. Just went, that's about that much, and about that much, and click, click, bang, there it goes. And then it was working, so yeah. So that was very impressive how that system works.
What caliber was that, Mark? What caliber?
A 308. They were Sierra. I think they're 180s or 150s. I can tell you, but they were Sierra ammo. Actually Sierra ammo, not just Sierra projectiles. There was
I didn't know they made fully loaded.
No, did
projectiles.
It came out through OSA, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, I knew they did the projectile, but not a full.
It was. I think it was Sierra ammo. So yeah, that was. I did have something to talk about. There you go.
Cool.
Okay.
Does that lead us into rifles?
Yeah, let's talk about guns.
Let's talk about territory.
If it's not a 30 cal, I'm not interested.
That's right. That's kind of true. Kind of true.
I don't know, Mark. But what are you taking?
Let's talk about a Chapuis.
Chapuis. Well, it's 30 cal.
Yeah, it's a 30 cal measured in 9.3 by...
Yeah, which is
0.375.
I think it's 366.
3.66. You're right.
Yes, 366.
Yes. Just below 375. Yeah.
Let's go back to the...
Starts with the 3.
Please tell me how all of the numbers work video. If you don't understand what he's talking about...
It's not that hard, mate. All you're doing is you're converting millimeters to inches. That's all we're doing here. There is no other magic.
9.3 millimeters is 366 of an inch.
Yeah, that's it. There is no other magic than that. All we're doing is just converting them.
That's good.
So just Google millimeters to inches.
Okay. We can do that.
So before we talk about rifles, so what are we doing? We're going to the territory. It's strange enough, 2 years to the day, is it, that we were sighting in the rifles for our first territory trip?
Today is 2 years to the day, yeah.
Today.
2 years to the day, correct.
That we were at Warwick sighting in the rifles. And I'm going to use that picture for the thumbnail for the podcast. Last time we flew, we met people up there, we went out, we had a great time, we shot animals and all that cool stuff. This time,
but last time, let's just say we followed the leader. Like, we had the ability to do what we wanted to do. It wasn't a guided hunt by any means, but we didn't know where we were going. We had no idea of location. We had the only prep we had really was bring this sort of stuff. Make sure you consider shoes. Hydration is going to be important. We'll tell you about that when you get there. Make sure you've got 2 Yeti bottles. We've covered all of that in previous podcasts. This time it's just us, and I say just us with a couple of guests, but no locals. So we're taking what we learnt last time, layering on all the cool stuff that we've learnt over the last couple of years. And I'm not just talking about the NT, I'm talking about mapping and guns and ammo and all sorts of stuff, and adding another 2 years of not just experience, but support, I guess, onto this trip. So yeah, last year wasn't last time logistically was interesting because it had to be ultralight, because we had to take 1 pack and 1 rifle case and get on a plane, and that had its challenges, didn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yep, absolutely.
So this time we're going ultra heavy.
Totally.
We're driving
tons of shit.
We're driving, and we're going in 2 vehicles. We're taking a camper trailer, we're taking a box trailer, and we're taking everything we own.
And Zach, we're taking a coffee machine.
Oh, we're taking a coffee machine? I didn't know that.
Damn right. It's in my camper.
Okay, there you go. Taking a coffee machine.
Because you need that
this time,
40-degree heat.
Now, there is, other than the fact that, you know, we're old and fat and we love luxury, there is some reasoning for this, and that is one of the problems that we encountered when we went ultralight is that we simply could not keep enough supplies in camp because of the heat.
Especially
because we couldn't take in enough stuff to look after the supplies.
It got that bad. The beer got warm.
Well, yeah, that's it. And we basically lost a day of hunting for the resupply.
A nice run.
Yeah, for the resupply. Lost a fairly significant part of the day. So we decided we don't want to do that again. So we're taking in. So the idea is once we're in, we don't leave. So
yeah,
and to do that.
The other thing, Mark, is we lost a day in the middle as well, being unsure of what we were doing next. And this certainly isn't, a negative comment against the guys that took us up there, because we had a fabulous time. But, because we didn't know the block, we didn't know where we were going next, there were times that we just weren't sure what was going on. So we hung about just to wait and see what was happening. And, it's a big place. So others were coming back from long morning walks, long morning hunts, and, without knowing what was going on and when we were going to break camp and move on, it burned a bit more time, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, the one day we broke camp, we packed up ready to go, and they spent the afternoon hunting because we didn't know what was going on.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
We ended up having to set up camp again, and we didn't leave until the next morning. So we lost an afternoon of hunting.
And that's just the nature of the place. It's enormous. It's got no service, and we didn't have a way to communicate really. So we just had to suck it and see. It all worked out fine in the end. But this time, having explored the place, now that's not to say we've even come close to exploring the block.
No.
But we have a bit more of an idea of how the block's made up. Has an enormous river system that runs basically from the northwest corner to the southeast corner. Runs all the way
and
through.
It also has another river system to the west.
Yeah. So my map's upside down. What I just said in reverse.
Oh, okay.
I'm just turning my map around now.
Yeah. So we've got the roper.
It does the same thing.
It does.
Still does the same
we've got
thing.
the roper that basically, and then we've got that huge kind of lagoon system.
Well, you got that whole delta system that runs through.
Yeah. Which
that's what I call the river.
Which is well, that's it. It's arterials that flow into lower and lower lying areas, and it becomes a huge delta. So you've got the lagoon that we are, and then that massive amount of water that's behind that lagoon where it just keeps going. And we've got the tributaries that fill the lagoon. So we've got two significant water sources to explore.
Yeah. And the advice and the learnings over the last couple of years is that basically what happens is in the wet, the whole place fills up with water. And there were instances where we were walking last year where we could look up in the trees, 2 meters above us and see the debris from where the water came through.
Pointing up to it.
That's it was way up there. And then the time of year we're going is almost the driest, where all of that water subsided and evaporated. And what we're left with is the pools of water in the deeper sort of divots in the ground, I guess, which you'd call the lagoons. And the animals will concentrate themselves around that water. Yeah, billabong, sorry, I'm saying. The animals concentrate themselves around that water, and as all that water dries up, all of those animals head down towards the roper. So that's an understanding we didn't have last year.
Yeah, well, remember when we found that barramundi in the middle of the paddock? It wasn't a small fish either.
No, it was Jesus. Jesus,
we found, and
that was at elevation as well. It was high up.
That fish was a long way away from water when we.
But it wasn't decayed to a point that it had been in the sun forever.
It didn't have big claws like a bird had carried it there and dropped it there. It was just,
I wouldn't be eating it.
I wouldn't be eating it either, but it wouldn't have been far off.
That was a day or two old. Not even maybe a day old.
Depends how hungry
in that heat, that nothing's going to last very long. So
that's right. Nothing had eaten it yet. So that and so which might mean that wasn't an unusual event. It was all over the place. That was just the part we saw. So and also got some more information from people up that way and about approaches. So I suppose this time around we certainly got the knowledge that we built on the first one and what also we want to do with this one. So it's a very different trip.
Yeah,
including of course some great mapping again. So we've got a full map of the property on our Avengers. So we've got that navigation tool, which is fantastic.
Yeah, and we're staring at that. I'm staring at that at the moment. I'm sure Johnny's got it up as well.
I've been pinging Ian some screenshots.
Oh my god,
and screen grabs today. Like, this looks good, and
So it's a shout out to Rob from Athena. Again, he what we've been able to do is give him the property location and our rough idea of the boundary. And Rob's able to search the public records and find out what the boundary actually looks like. So he sent me back a boundary, which I looked at and I went, yeah, that's it. Yep, that's pretty much what I think this is. And he's cross-referenced a few things and it's worked out well. We took most of Jono's GPS markings from the last trip 2 years ago that he captured on his watch. And I've plugged those onto the map and I can see now I'm starting to get a picture of what the land looks like that I, even after being there for a week, didn't really have the same sort of picture as I do now. But the really cool stuff that Rob's been able to do is not just put topos over it, because you'd think topos are pretty standard for a map, but he's been able to give us 2 overlays, and those overlays are probable water and possible water. And it's an overlay that he's done based on the driest conditions in the region, and that's taken over years of history, because you can look at the maps over history and time. And he's picked the driest time, and he's been able to plot where probable water will be at this time of year that we're going. So if I'm staring at the map now, there's probably, what do you reckon, 200 probable water points. Which are billabongs.
That system that drains into that huge wetland. That's
so good.
Basically, all along that system, there's likely to be water in some form or another. Pockets,
right?
Who knows?
So,
you won't know until we get there. But yeah,
our approach last time was, "Hey boys, we'll drop you off here. Go for a walk." And we were spotting white gums.
Look for the gum trees.
Look for the white gums. Look for the white gums because they're usually around water. And those white gums could have been 5 kilometers apart. We crossed some fair bloody desert country to go from white gum to white gum, and found some water. Like we ended up finding some good water, and ultimately successful. But now being able to go onto the block, knowing where we're going to camp and where the water sources are going to be, gives us 2 days head start. Easy.
Oh, yep. I agree. Yeah, and looking at the water, I mean, it's given me a different perspective on the block as well. Like we were chatting earlier, Ian, about from the initial camp, the first camp to
from way across over there.
Yeah. Which if you look on them, I mean, it took us half a day to get there.
If you used the whole day to get to Hilltop.
Yeah. But if you went from Hilltop to the other campsite at the lagoon, it's only 14 k's if you follow the creek system. But we lost a day traveling between them.
But you can't. It's because you can't cross the creek. Remember where we went up and I shot that buffalo. We parked at pretty much the end of the track where you couldn't. I think we probably could, but not in a hire car. That was at the time we thought was 2-wheel drive.
Because you couldn't find the 4-wheel drive.
Couldn't find the 4-wheel drive button.
But what I'm saying is that it's giving us different ideas on how we can approach hunting the block.
Totally.
We spoke today about doing an overnight trip and packing down that creek system, because now we know and we've got a lay of the land. When we went 2 years ago, we had none of it. We didn't have a map.
No idea.
We didn't have
map.
Nothing. We didn't have a map, but now we've got a map. We've got probable water, possible water. We know we've got GPS marks from our last trip. Like, for instance, Mark, on that first afternoon when we spotted that huge bull, I know exactly where that is on the map because I tracked it on my watch. And I had a look on the map and I thought, well, there's not much water in there. Do you remember we had that huge billabong that we first found and there was no water in it? It was this big dry pan. If you look,
salt plain, basically.
But if you look sort of probably 1 to 2 k's down to that would be the southwest, there's actually a huge delta down there. So I think the animals are moving there for water in the afternoon because they were going in that direction. We didn't know that at the time. We were just walking
you reckon on the other
bush.
side of that great big salt plain that we were on the edge of, there was water on the other side of that?
If you went southwest from there for about 1 or 2 k's, there's a huge delta down there. I can now found it on the map because I actually plotted the walk that we did. And we found a donkey and we shot the donkey, but we were just walking aimlessly looking for water. But now if we look at the map, we know where there's probable water and we can go straight for that.
That's not just looking at the map now. Like I'm cruising around Google Maps now as we talk, looking at the spots that we were talking about. The way that Athena can pull the maps together and put them on a Venza, we'll be sitting there on the spot now with high definition imagery, making decisions on where we should be going to intercept animals on water.
Correct.
Whilst we're on the foot. We couldn't do that before.
Not just walking aimlessly. We were walking aimlessly through the bush, going from Wakam to Wakam. Now we can say, right, we know there's water there. Using a Venza, we can plot the distance, we can plot the direction, and we can just head straight there because we know there's probable water. So it's going to really change the way we hunt.
I'm getting excited.
I am getting excited too. Definitely.
Getting excited. The other bit of tech, we laughed about this during the week when we were chatting to our friends at Zolio, because it wouldn't be a podcast without talking about Zolio. But being able to, again, because we didn't do this 2 years ago, we weren't hooked up on the tech. Jono, I think I just purchased mine. Jono, you had yours there, but we weren't linked up to a point that we could track each other on a map. But like you say, you could be dropped off at Hilltop, which is 13 k's away from where we will have our base camp. And, if you end up on an animal, not difficult now to just stop, send a message back to the others in camp and say, hey, we're on. Can you pick us up later on? Give us a few hours. We'll just hang out here and, you get a ride back.
Boy.
Game changer.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We can definitely approach this trip a lot differently. I think we're going to have a successful trip, I think.
Well, now you've called it.
And when you look at the map and you look at that probable the water course, that water running through there, you also got, as I said, we've got the Roper over to the west of it, and that's a what? Well, actually, it's what they got there. They've got the the Waterhouse River, which basically dumps into the thermal springs.
Yeah.
that we're at. So
I'm looking forward to that at the end of the trip.
Well, I mean, there's another whole water source that we have the ability to explore.
Yeah, it's really, really opened up a lot of. I think we're going to be doing a lot more walking on this trip.
Yeah, but purposeful.
Yeah, well, I don't think we'll do too much more because we did a hell of a lot on the first time.
Yeah, there may not be so much space between locations. Like the other thing that I've been looking at in the last 24, or not even 20, in the last day, because we only picked these maps up today or got sent them, was that ridge line that we were talking about earlier, Mark, that we'll call it Blister Ridge. The buffalo were coming out of the wetlands and up onto that ridge or into that area, but for what?
That's what I can't remember. We found huge spots where they'd been held up underneath trees.
Yeah, so they go to the deep, dark, shady spots, is what we now understand. They leave the water after dark,
and in the evenings they're heading into the high country. That's what I think they do.
The information we got is after about 10, they'll start pulling. They'll be up there by 10 o'clock in the morning that time of year. They'll have watered and they'll have fed, and they'll be moving up into heavy shaded areas above the waterline, because that's where, remember, on that that's where we found that buff had been poached.
Yeah,
on that was heading up into the high country.
Yeah, it was on the edge of the escarpment, just on the base of the escarpment.
Yeah, because we were coming along, and what we did as we were walking along that track in the morning, we found the vehicle tracks. And then we saw, we found our tracks, then we found vehicle tracks, and we went, there's our tracks. And then we saw buffalo tracks on top of our tracks, and went, okay, they've come out here through the morning or the night. And then we found new vehicle tracks. We went, hang on, this doesn't make much sense. This is not. And then we found one that had turned around, and went, someone's pulled off the road. And that's where we went, okay, someone's pulled over here, and we started looking around and saw a bird sign, and sure enough found a buffalo, and it was still bloody. So that had been poached within the early hours that morning. And again, it come off that out of that wetlands through that fence line that hardly stopped something like that size, and up into the hills there, or going up into that hill country.
And when Brian and I got onto the buff, we found them coming out of the thick stuff, heading up towards that high country. That's through that to that escarpment. That's where we found them. So they'd been laid up in the thick stuff during the day, had their drink, had their wallows, and then for the evening, because we caught them right on last light, they were heading up into the escarpment for the evening.
Because Ian and I found a very large, buffalo pad amongst the trees. There was a big pad. There'd been a number of them held up there. Just every tree had this massive clearing around it top.
So I think they're spending the evenings, the nights up in the high stuff, and then heading down into the thick stuff to drink, and then for cover, for shade, because there's no shade up on those hillsides.
No, there's not. And this is the thing that baffles me really, is that they're coming off the water and going into the desert. Why don't they just hang out at the water? Why don't they just stay there and be cold?
I think because they don't have visibility in the evenings. They can't see anything in that thick stuff. Any predator could approach them. So they head up into the high country where it's more open, and they get visibility. And it's probably cooler. A little bit of elevation. It's
in the evening.
Cooler
in the evening.
In the evening. Yeah.
So where do you think they do between 10 o'clock and 4 in the afternoon?
Nothing.
Sleeping, laid up under the tree.
Yeah,
ruminating.
Yeah, just ruminating up.
When they need a drink, go for a drink.
Yeah, like roos, You
just got to find where they're mobbed up and hanging out.
Yeah. So I think first thing we do is you got to find water, and then you've just got to find the water that's holding the buff. So we've got the edge now with these maps from Rob. That's certainly going to give us the advantage because we've got that probable water. We focus our efforts on those, and one of them has got to be holding the buff. For one or more, I've got to be holding.
And we saw a number of small groups, 2s and 3s. The one that I took was in a small group. We didn't see the rest of the group, but we heard them. The ones before that, on that same afternoon, Jono, there were 2 or 3 there that popped up in front of us. I don't know how many were in the little group that you found, Mark. There were a couple there.
2.
Yeah. So there seem to be little pockets by themselves as well.
Yeah, these are just 2 small bulls by themselves.
Yeah.
But yeah, and the one that you got, there were a couple of other ones held up in that thick stuff.
Well, you can see if you look at the map where it was, just down from there was a creek.
Yeah. So they were laid up in there, and he came out, I think, to hear the noise that we had made, or had come out for them to start heading up into that high country. Because we weren't that far away, if you think about it.
No, not too far away from the very edge of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So they were laid up in that thick stuff, and he had come out to either look at us or come out to go for a drink or start making their way. Because after you shot that one, we heard them crashing off. The other one's crashing off. So I think they were laid up in there. So I think find water, find the thick stuff near the water, and I think we should be on.
Yeah. So the other reason that we're hauling the camper up, we think it'd be fun to travel 3,000 kilometres in each direction in the same car with each other. Isn't that going to be a hoot?
Oh, yeah.
A hoot.
A hoot. We'll hear a lot of dad jokes.
Hence why I got the anal bleaching done and and all that.
Just throwing me off topic. Yeah. Okay. We talked about trying to preserve food and stuff, but also we want to try and get some meat back out of there.
That's it.
So taking 2 vehicles, a camper trailer with facilities, and a big high cage trailer, so that we can just throw stuff in. I'm interested to know what tents/swag concepts you guys are coming up with. But before we get there, the camper concept is going to be really good. It just gives us the ability to take every fridge we can find on its own battery and solar system. I have an idea, and I'll tell you whether it works when we come back. I might be dreaming, but I feel like during the day we can just freeze bottles of water in these dual zone fridges. So we've got all the sun in the world. So we should be able to freeze bottles, and we should be able to just recycle every day frozen bottles for defrosting bottles, frozen bottles for defrosting bottles into our fresh food, which is what we couldn't do last time. We were using ice turned to slurry, backstraps went into it, slurry got bloody, couldn't use it for drinking anymore. Like, it was just difficult. This time I really feel like a whole bunch of fridges and solar. There's no reason we can't keep all of those fridges powered. There's so much sunlight and heat.
I mean, last time we had no fridges. We had
nothing. No, we're running on air skis.
We're running on air skis. So, yeah, I mean, that's one step up. I think having the camper, yes, because we've got batteries, we've got capacity, and we've got facilities, but just having the box trailer as well, we can load that up. My only concern there is the bull dust and getting everything.
Yeah, it'll be a canvas down. Lucky one of our members is one of our members is a truckie. He knows how to tie tarps down on trailers, so hopefully we'll keep a lot of that out.
When we get to the property,
you can't stop it, but
we just got to try and protect some of the stuff.
In the box trailer, it'll be the big Tatanka, expedition packs. Just that kind of stuff, and fuel and water containers and
jerry cans.
Things that doesn't matter if they get covered in dust. Those expedition packs, expedition bags we took last time, but that's what they do. They just keep the dust out.
Yep.
Yeah. So I agree. I think as much solar as possible. Fridges, I think, get them churning through the day, even if we have to crank them up to freezing during the day.
Well,
and then
it
turn them
might
to
be an
fridge
idea to get one and just make it the freezer.
Or two.
Stick it underneath.
Or two. Yeah, we might need.
Well, I think that's the idea, and then you can just recycle the eskies. So you got big esky tubs that you can recycle brand new frozen bottles into. The only thing that I'm trying to figure out now is how we keep a constant supply of ice for the walking days. The ice water was a key thing for us last time, and I don't think we're really
freezing bottles. I think, like what you were saying, freeze bottles. I think that'll help. It's not going to take long to defrost. In that heat. But I mean, we need space. We need space for food, of course. But I think we need some fresh meat. Get some buff if we eat that for dinner every night.
Donkey steaks.
Donkey steaks. Yeah, and when we're at the lagoon, we've got to try to get some of those cherapin. Those are beautiful. Got to take a couple traps.
Again, can't take crab pots on the plane. Can throw them on the top of the camp trailer.
Mm-hmm. Just don't use soap. Use meat. So we need meat to go in there. So we shoot a pig or whatever. Get the meat because that's what got us that cherapin. That's what got us that sleepy cod, which is beautiful. I remember Matt cooking that up. That was gorgeous. So I think we were at the lagoon. We focus on getting some. Oh, I'm going to take a fishing rod. We got space.
I took one last time, but didn't get much chance to use it.
I used it, but didn't get anything.
It's so wrecked last time. The thought of getting back to camp and then going back and going fishing rather than having a bit of a relax.
Kind of went. I come here to hunt buffalo, so I kind of said that's what I'm doing. So yeah.
Oh, but imagine catching a barrow. We can have some fresh fish.
Well, so I mean, the sleepy cod that was just caught on bait, wasn't it?
It was caught in the trap. We caught that in
the trap.
Yeah, so we put Matt threw the traps in with some soap in them.
Mm-hmm.
Soap because apparently they find the soap and they try and get rid of it, so they eat it because it's polluting the water. And so, but it didn't work. And then when we got that buff, I think it was your buff, Ian. He chucked it in the trap on the last night, and we got a cherapin and a sleepy cod, which we ended up having on the last morning. He fried them up in some butter, which was just beautiful. So we need to take some traps, definitely.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna take my fishing rod. I mean, we're not flying this time, so we
took rods last time when we did fly.
Yeah, I took my rod last time. I got travel. I got a nice Shimano travel.
I got a nice little travel rod as well. Yeah. So I'm gonna get a couple of lures and some barrows.
I took all my fishing gear. So I took lures, and what I didn't actually take is bait gear. But with sleepy cod, I might just.
You could even take like a hand line or something like that and just throw it out for a sleepy cod. Just leave it out. Get a little hand line reel. Just leave it out overnight. Might get a croc as well.
Yeah, croc steaks. Not allowed to do that.
No, you're not. No.
We started this conversation 45 minutes ago talking about a chapuis. We never got to the end of the guns. If you want to,
we didn't start them really.
No. So we're changing up. We're trying to change up anyway. Let's finish off what yours was about, mate.
So I'm taking a double rifle, which is something you don't see too often in Australia, for most people anyway. So it's a Chapuis, which is a French brand double rifle. So it looks like a shotgun, but takes centerfire ammo, but works very much in the same principle. Actually, I think they're based on a box lock shotgun, 28 gauge. That's what the model is they use. Shooting the 9.3, but instead of the 9.3 by 62, which I took last time, it's a 9.3 by 74R, being for the rim because it works like a shotgun, so it ejects the cases. So it needs a rim to grab on for the ejector. You can actually get double rifles that don't do rimless, but they're more complicated. So it's still got to get the bullet out somehow. So, you pop it open and then bink, they shoot out. Both shoot out. About 100 feet per second faster than the standard 9.3 by 62 when you're shooting the bog standard 286, which is the kind of center line ammo for 9.3. So I'm looking really forward to that because they're actually quite small guns because they don't have an action, if you will. They don't have a bolt, rotating bolt action. So it's just barrel and pop them in and away you go. And 2-shot, aim point on top, regulated to, I'm not sure, I've got to check on what they've regulated to, either 50 or 100 yards. But I'll be sighting it in for 100 yards. Regulated means that's where the kind of beams intersect. Ghostbusters, don't cross the beams. Well, that's what you do when you regulate it. And the Chapuis has got a really interesting one because that's actually really tricky to do. And in more generally, it actually meant you had to basically put wedges in and straighten the barrels up and bend the barrels in a certain way, then resolder them and all sorts of things. So regulating was a pretty tricky thing to do. The way the Chapuis works is the right-hand barrel is floating. So it's like the left-hand barrel is fixed, the right-hand floats, and on the front is this basically kind of figure-8 locking ring. And what that does is that tunes the right-hand. You can adjust the right-hand barrel with that locking ring, so you can retune it for different ammo.
Very interesting, isn't it? So you've got basically got to sight in, and then adjust your floating barrel to match the first.
Yeah, or you can get, that's an interesting thing, or you can get really tricky and kind of go like, like a shotgun where you use different chokes.
Yep.
You can do that with a double rifle. You can go, this is dead on at 50 and this is dead on at 75, or this is dead on at 100 and this is dead on.
Oh, yeah, of course you can. Yeah.
You can actually.
And like a shotgun, can you change the barrel
to shoot first?
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna ask, generally, you can have them matched, or you can have them actually intentionally different.
But can you select which barrel you're shooting from first? Like on a
I'm sure it's got barrel selector.
Yeah.
But generally, in this one barrel, you have, I think it's the left barrel is fixed. It's the fixed barrel.
Because as you say, traditional double rifles are regulated, so there's a lot of manual effort that goes into.
That's it. Well, the way they used to do it is literally they used to shoot one and kind of go, that's the standard one, and then they get little wedges and actually kind of bend the other one around to try and make it shoot the same place.
Yeah.
So this is regulation basically with an Allen key. So it's a much easier system. It'll be interesting to see. I've got to talk to the guys at Beretta, see what they regulated it for 50 yards or 100 yards.
And you say you're shooting 286?
It'll be 50 because that's their range, internal range size.
Yeah.
You'd think.
Yeah.
And so you're shooting 286 grain, Mark?
Yeah, the 286. I think that's the standard. I think that's the standard one for the 9.3.
And you're shooting the Oryx again?
No, I'm shooting hammerheads.
Oh, the socket.
Because it's they had a regulator to what they had in stock, so they got it to hammerheads. So shooting hammerheads.
Yeah, I've got the nice. So I'm going to try the Oryx. I've got a mix of. I've got 232s or 286s. I think I'm going to shoot the 232s. That's what I'm zeroed in on mine. So,
well, last year I shot the Sarco with 250s. But I had them zeroed at 200 because I was thinking that we'd be seeing pigs at distance, but no. We were standing on top of them. We were letting them have it. So.
Pogzilla.
That's it. We were literally on top of the bargains. So yeah, so 100 will do. 100 will do. So that's the big exciting thing for me, to take that rifle and hunt with that rifle.
Any other changes? You got to change the scope, Jono?
Correct. Yeah. So I'm taking the same rifle. So I've got a Sauer 100 in 9.3. Although the only change to the rifle, apart from the scope, is that our friend Byron at Beretta Australia did a beautiful Cerakote job on it. So the rifle, the action, the bolt have all been Cerakoted, and I had the magazine Cerakoted as well. So the magazine itself is the blaze orange with the base, but the base plate of the magazine is black to match the rest of the rifle. So it looks beautiful with that black Cerakote. Looks great. But yeah, I've changed the scope. So last time we were there, I borrowed Mark's Swarovski, but that's now been replaced with a Steiner Ranger 4 in a 124 by 24, I think it is. So really low powered. I think it's a beautiful scope. It looks great. Similar design to the Swarovski with the same size barrel. The tube of the scope is the same all the way through.
24 mil, I think.
24 mil. Yeah, so it's a 124 by 24. Yeah, that's what it is. Looks great. Really suits the style of hunting we're going to be doing. I think I shot my buff at about 60 meters, the first one. The second one's a little bit further once they ran, but perfect scope for those conditions. Very traditional big game rifle, big game scope. But yeah, same caliber for me, 9.3 by 62. Won't get the ammo mixed up this time, Mark, please. because I think I tried to change it to 74.
You'll be checking this time.
Maybe putting in 66.
But yeah, changing ammo as well. So last time, what did we shoot? The Privies, I think we had last time. Now we're going to the normal Oryx, which I'm really excited to see the bullet.
That's good ammo.
Although those last Privies that I shot really performed well. I hit that buff of mine right on the shoulder. Beautiful shot. And yeah, I put 2 more in just to be sure, but I think the first one was a good shot. So otherwise, very, very similar for me. Yeah, just a aesthetically different rifle this time, and that Stana Ranger 4 scope. So, What about you, Ian? What are you taking?
Well, I'm not sure yet. So we're just working through 2 things. So last year I took the BRX. It was the first outing I had with the BRX, and it was in 30-06, and I was shooting Powerheads, I think, Psycho Powerhead 180s. And I was intending to do the same again this year, but our good friends at Bred Australia have suggested that because the BRX has the ability to do barrel swaps and caliber changes, that I up its capability to a 300 Win Mag. So main reason for that is I was looking at the 30-06. I think they top out in terms of projectile at a 220 grain, or 200 grain, I think it was, and
220.
220, I think, yeah. And they suggested if they send me the barrel conversion kit, I'll be able to swap that barrel out. And all you got to do is swap the barrel out. Excuse me. Barrel screws out. Change the bolt face on the slider because it's a straight pull, and you're good to go. I'm not sure about the magazine yet. I'll have to figure that out, but I'm assuming that the 30-06 and the 300 Win Mag will use the same box mag. But either way, it comes in a conversion kit, and that's been sent to us already. I've just got to go down and pick it up. They think that going to a 220 grain Norma Oryx will give me significantly more muzzle energy than going to the top end of the
absolutely.
Going to the 30-06 of the same caliber size.
Oh, absolutely.
Not caliber size, same bullet weight size.
Yeah.
So that's what we're trying to do. Unfortunately, there hasn't been a whole lot of barrel swap done in the past up in Queensland. So it's a bit of a misnomer. We're not really sure what's going on when it comes to the process. My understanding was that it would come as a spare part, and it's no harder than completing a Form 10 at your gun shop, and you can take the components. But we're just working through that at the moment, and we're kind of running out of time. So unfortunately, I was told to start with it, we might need a Form 10 to get the job done. I'm now being told that potentially we're going to have to get a PTA. If I have to get a PTA, 3 weeks to go, cutting it fine. We could probably get the PTA in that time, but we're also running down the clock on the process we need to follow to take firearms and ammunition into the Northern Territory. If you haven't followed that issue that's going on up there, someone pointed out recently, sadly for us, very recently, that in the Northern Territory, other states' firearms licenses aren't recognised. So we weren't able to take our rifles and ammunition up. Luckily for us, they've got to the bottom of that problem. They've recognised that there's an issue with that, and they've come up with a process in which if we send the details that we need to send to the Northern Territory Police, that they will issue us with a temporary firearms licence, which gives us the ability to bring our rifles up and buy ammunition. And we're not going to buy ammunition up there, we're going to take it with us. But that takes time. PTAs take time. We've got 3 weeks left, and we're still trying to work the process out. Long way of saying, hopefully I get a 300 Win Mag out of this. But if I don't, I'll be taking the 30-06 with a backup 30-06 in the Benelli Lupo. I'm going to take that because it's always good to have a backup rifle in camp. We don't want any malfunctions or things going wrong. The last trip we went on, I was trialing a relatively new electronic scope, and it didn't work for me, and we're trying to get to the bottom of that. I don't want that problem up there, so we'll take a backup. So I'll have, at a minimum, I'll have 2 30-06s with 180 grain Sarco super hammerheads, and both of those will have aim point micros, H2 micros on them. which is what we had last time. And I absolutely love hunting the territory with an aim point. Everything is fast. Everything was so fast up there. Like, it came down to seconds, and having an aim point and a straight pull rifle was the best. So
when we're chasing pigs, if I can please have a go with the aim point and the BRX, because I haven't shot one yet.
Yeah, well, there is a chance to take a 308 BRX up with us. If you have a chat to my good friend Mark, no reason it can't be on the wagon.
There isn't. I was just, that's it. There's no reason we can't take it out.
It's probably worth having some spares.
The only reason I don't want to take the 308 is that's the day when we see a big buff.
Yeah, well, that comes down to what we have in our groups. Because we've got a couple of friends coming that are joining us, and one local that's joining us, and we're not. We'll divvy up the group so that we've got big guns in each group and potentially smaller ones as well. Just because, if I'm on point and I see the buffalo and I put the first round into it, there's a high expectation that the three fellas behind you or the two fellas behind you just empty magazines into it as fast as possible.
You're only going to have 2 shots on you. How are you going to?
Well, that's. I'm waiting. Yeah, we've got 2 big shots,
13.
Right? It's got twice the lead.
Because I get 2 real quick. I get 2. Look, mate, I get. You know what doubles are there for? That second shot that's the fastest shooting rifle there is when it comes to those.
So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to do what the African PHs do, and they're going to have
hold 2 in their fingers.
They hold 4 in their fingers like this.
4.
And they shoot and they drop.
I've never seen them hold 4.
They normally hold. When you're chasing a dangerous game, they'll hold 4.
All I can think of now is
3. They'll hold 3.
The Chapuis.
1, 2, 3.
The Chapuis has arrived.
So what you're telling me is that. What you tell me is that South African PHs have 6 fingers. 1, 2, 3. Go there.
And one in the thumb as well. And one in the tooth.
Right, one sticking out that way, is there?
2 in the teeth. Yeah.
No, I've seen the double. I've seen the 2 and the fink like that on the grip. I've never seen 4.
Yeah.
All I can picture. So we're 3 weeks out. The rifles have showed up at Venture. Awesome.
Yep.
Our buddies down there are going to take care of us. And sometime this week, Mark will probably pick them up. And for the next 2 weeks, PTA's coming in PTA land. The next 2 weeks, Mark's going to be practicing quick loading in the mirror. It's going to be every night, 30 rounds. Quick load.
Because I just remember you had shot his buff, and we're just sitting there getting ready to work on this thing, and we just heard World War III start off down the gully.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom.
Yep. Well, even then, I was single loading. It was slower than
Well, you got the first 3 off because
the first one was a headshot.
Because you hit that one.
So that was it. Yeah. So then it was only 2. So that second buff took 2, and then I was single loading on it. So yeah, same thing. I was literally single, and that would have been slower because I'd pull them out.
That's a good point, actually. I'm going to carry extra ammo on me this time.
Well, I've got my little easy, accessible ammo.
Correct.
I got my little
on the stock or on your
I got my little very expensive Rigby.
I'm going to put my
ammo belt.
Yeah, I'm going to put my stock thing on. That's what I'm going to do.
That's what I'm doing.
I'm going to do that.
I'm actually
neoprene sleeve.
Making a phone call tomorrow to find out whether I can get another magazine.
It's not a bad shot.
I just want 8 rounds real fast. Shooting smaller calibers. Yeah.
I can get 5 in my mag, which is good on the side.
I got 4 in 1.
Yeah, I can get 5 in 1. So
that's good enough. Jeez, that's a lot for a big caliber.
Yeah,
that is.
Yeah, I could do 5 in 1, so I can get 6 shots. Yeah.
No wonder that thing's so heavy.
It's got a good piece of timber on it.
So and there's other things. Sorry, Mark, you go.
I was going to say, that's the fight nines. There's lots of other stuff to think about. One of the things that we learnt last time was the cheap saws and box cutter knives.
Bunning strip.
I'm going to buy a saw, but I'm going to not use the box cutter knives. I'm going to use one of my hunting knives this time. So I'm be taking my knife sharpener system up.
A
Recipro saw. Yeah.
Recipro. Yeah. If we've got the capabilities to take it, we should.
Yeah.
Although I want to try and bring a whole skull back if we can.
Same. That's why it's important for me to get that box cutter knife. But I guess even if you're taking the head off, you still got to get the skin around the neck.
You've still got to cut the at the skull, because you're not just going to get a knife in there.
Orbital joint,
It's a pretty big orbital joint. But
I suppose it might be easier to find at least.
Yeah,
it might be a big hard one to get through, but at least there it is.
Have you got one, Ian?
What's that?
Recipro?
Yeah, I do.
Recipro.
Yeah.
What brand?
Makita.
Okay, I was just thinking from a spare battery perspective.
I've got 10 spare batteries.
Okay.
No, well, all my drills, like I take a drill for the camper because it lowers the arms, the stabilization arms. It's the same batteries that use on the Recipro.
Yeah. Well, I just because if you
it'll go for 30 minutes flat out. So how many heads are you going to cut off?
Hopefully a few.
Yeah.
Well, that'll have to be a retrieval trip. That's for sure. You'll have to call someone up and say, "Hey, bring that the sword."
I want that classic photo. The skinny white guy carrying the giant buffalo head on his shoulders as he walks back across the savannah.
Well, that
was you, Johnny. I was picturing that.
I've got the Tatonka pack, so I intend to put that to the And
you want to put a buff skull on top of that, that's for sure.
Yeah, so talk about that. That's the same one that I've got, right?
Yep. So I've just got mine. It's arrived. So we got a big, care package from the guys at Tatonka. So the new expedition bags. So we got expedition bags, which is going to, put everything in. Going to try and put everything in a bag, so cut down that dust, especially if lash things to rooftops and put them in trailers. And for a pack, I'm taking the Modulus with the 30 liter bag on it.
It's bloody made for this, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I can actually see that that bag's going to have not much in it. Everything's going to be lashed to that frame, and you're just going to. And you're going to put everything, so because we're taking lots of camera gear and all that stuff as well. So that's my setup, the Modulus, and so my not next door neighbour, but diagonally from me, he and I have an arrangement. Whatever game meat I give him, he gives me back half of it as jerky. So he's already given me half a kilo of. So Pilliga produced half a kilo of goat jerky, and the last of the meat from the red from April got turned into deer jerky this week, and I've already eaten both bags. Just munched through the stuff, and we're saying, okay, couple of buffalo backstraps.
Oh, what about rear quarters?
Oh,
yeah,
come on, they're 5 foot long each anyway. that's
yeah, look, I want to bring back as much meat as possible.
Yeah.
So
well,
fridges, eskies is just going to be stocked.
I want to butterfly one of them suckers and put it over the fire.
Roast a buffalo? That's a big fire, mate.
Not the whole buffalo, just the leg.
Even a leg is going to be a big piece of meat. Yeah, but no, we need to be bringing back as much as possible, because that's one regret.
I'm going to be selective of that. I'm going to be hunting backstraps. I don't want to be carrying around big bones that I don't need to carry around. So
I'm happy to dismember one of those things and get the rumps and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, well, if we get one close to a track and we get vehicles up, and we can all get working. I remember doing a similar thing to a scrub ball, and it's, if you can get everyone into it, you can.
They're massive. They are massive.
But the trouble is, the trouble we had with the scrub ball is once we did it, we went, okay, so how are we going to, keep this 90 kilos of meat that we've got?
Well, that's why lots of eskies, lots of fridges.
Yeah, that's it. So
and just shoot them on the last night like Ian does.
Oh,
and mock
yeah, totally. No, we want to be munching on this bastard the whole way through.
Yeah, so I want to bring some backstraps back for myself, but also for jerky as well.
Yeah, I want as much meat as I can bring back.
Mm.
Well, there's a goal.
That's it.
And again, we've got a lot more stuff and support and maps and all that sort of stuff around us this time. So it's
we've got
two
vehicles. We've got two
different
vehicles and all that stuff. Yeah.
Just got to get there. Just 30 hours of driving.
30 hours of dodging roos and cows on the road. It's my biggest concern about the whole trip. Is going to be the state of the car once it arrives, and then again when it returns. I've been told. We were talking to our buddy Adam, who does hot shots to the mines, and I know when those guys are going, they're just going. They're just flooring it. What did he say? He said in the last year he's done however many dozen trips out to the mines, and there might be one time he hasn't hit a kangaroo or something. I really don't want to be doing that.
Yeah, agreed.
And there's a section there where you're driving through on the way up to Mataranka, where there's a lot of cows on the road.
Yep. Mate, once, yeah. I mean, I don't know, even from before Charleville, before the Augathella, you got chances of it. And once you get past there, then it becomes, through the Western Plains there, you've got, there's more cows on the road than there is in paddocks, it seems at times.
Mm. Yeah. So that's the challenge. Get there unscathed, but should be right. That's what insurance is for.
Yep. I mean, we've got, swapping drivers, 2 or 3 shifts each.
Frequent swapping just to make sure.
Swap over, keep moving. Find somewhere to pull up the first night, do a rough camp.
Yeah. So for people that are listening, by the time this one drops, we'll be a week away, probably from going.
Probably. Yeah.
If you've done the run from here to Mataranka, which is going to be what? I'm just trying to think of the main townships that we head through. Heading up to Charleville, heading across, I guess, to Longreach. Is that where we would go?
You go through the so you don't go through Charleville, you go Augathella bypass. So the triangle there, you kind of that's when we kick north, as it were. Before then, we're kind of kicking more to the west, and then we kick north, and then run up through, up towards Barcaldine, and then into Longreach and that way. At a ranker, that's what I'm thinking. We're going to cross at Camberwell.
Yeah, so if you've done the trip up that way.
So Roma, Blackhall, Barcaldine, Longreach, Winton, Cloncurry, Mount Isa, Camberwell, then across to Warramunga, Marwangu, Elliot, Daly Waters, Larrimah, Mataranka.
Yeah,
3,000 Ks.
It's almost exactly 3,000 Ks. So if you've done the run
from here,
and you know the road, and you know good roadhouses, good pie shops, good places to stop, places of interest, things that we should see, let us know. We don't really want to be stopping and sightseeing along the way, but if there's some obvious spots that are the must-stop places, good roadhouses, keen to hear, because we don't know. Well, I don't know.
From up to Winton, it's not the inner city bypass, but it is good roads that have
through to Winton's fine.
Yeah. I mean, up to Winton, it's pretty good roads, good stops, and all that stuff. So we're gonna go through like a number of sizable areas, Barcaldine, Longreach up to Winton, and then it gets a bit lonelier as you keep going up towards the Curry. Last time I was up that way at the Curry is where I kept going north
through
the Gulf,
through rivers,
up into the Gulf, up into Normanton. So we're going to be turning hard west there towards Mount Isa, and then from Mount Isa to Camberwell, and then we're not going to be deadly isolated on any real big stretch on that road. So
no. And with a some patrol towing a camper. We'll be stopping every 300 k's for fuel anyway.
Yeah, a V8 petrol Nissan Patrol.
Yeah, that'll be the way it goes.
Which is about it. You're running at about 120 k's between locations once you get up that way. So yeah, you'll be fine.
That's fine. That's easy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, all good. Wish us luck. Hopefully, this one will be out a week before we head off. Keen to hear anyone that's done the trip. Give us some ideas. Yeah, we'll keep you posted along the way. Hopefully, we'll be able to get some videos out as we're up there and some check-ins to let you know how we're going. That should be fun. And yeah, I feel like we're way less prepared, but on the other side, way more prepared for this trip. So
that's a good way to describe it. We've got a lot more knowledge about what we're doing, so we just got to put it together. I'm looking forward to using this new rifle of mine on pigs because I might want to hang on to it as my new pig rifle.
Of course. Mm-hmm. Go to the territory, chase buffalo, go pig hunting,
and just shoot pigs.
All right, might end it there.
Yep,
I think so. Cool.
Let me end the episode with a quote. As a buffalo hunter, I love hunting pigs. Good night, fellas.
See you, mate.
Okay, bye.
See you, Mark.